Is Auburn picking up some momentum with a big five-star prospect?
In the world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the boog, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off. And you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie Five.
Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie Five, and we are ready to get after it. Happy Monday. Let's get this week kicked off on the right foot, in the right way, whatever you want to say. Let's just get this thing started. Is Auburn picking up some momentum with a big five-star prospect? We're going to talk about recruiting still being slow, but it's kind of slow across the board for everybody and why that may be. And there are a lot of coaches on the road recruiting their tails off, and Auburn is no exception. Definitely out there making some noise. So we're going to get all into that in just a second. But before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to mybookie.ag. Go to mybookie.ag, use coupon code BARN for a 50% deposit bonus. Give them $100. They're going to give you 50 back on top to play with. Hit that sports book. You got sports every single night. Some type of athletic event, you can grab that, grab some action on it. Easy deposits, easy withdrawals. Give them a shout. mybookie.ag. Zion Elee from St. Francis Academy in Maryland, or wherever you want to, somewhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, that whole, not Dallas-Fort, I'm sorry, D.C., the D.C. area. Auburn's got a lot of kids from there recently. He kind of set the world on fire. I don't want to say he set the world on fire, but he turned a lot of heads when he tweeted this right here, the eagle emoji with a question mark. Auburn obviously is still recruiting him really hard, and as soon as he tweeted that, it just absolutely blew up. 40,000 plus reach on it. Tons of Auburn content. I mean, comments. Boy, I'm struggling this morning. A lot of Auburn comments, retweets, and a lot of questions asking, hey, is Auburn getting back in this with Zion Elee? It's a fun story to talk about. I mean, obviously, Auburn felt like they were in a really good spot to begin with. You just signed you signed a couple of guys from St. Francis Academy. You got another guy committed. So there's 3 teammates. And then you bring in Darrell Robinson in the portal. You seem like you're kind of building this St. Francis Academy pipeline. You kind of got this thing going really well with this powerhouse in Maryland. And he's coming on visits, said all the right things. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he commits to Maryland. And everybody was sort of skeptical when he committed. Maryland obviously beat our eyes out in the bowl game, so it's not like it's just a joke of a program. But I mean, it's not in the Big Ten. It's probably one of the more middle tier Big Ten schools. It is his home school, so there wasn't a real huge. I guess there was not a huge shock from that standpoint that the local kid would commit to the local school. But you just felt like, hey, this guy has a pick of wherever he wants to go. He could go to USC. He could go to Miami. He could go to Ohio State. He could go wherever. He could go to Auburn. He could go to Alabama. He could go to Georgia. He could pick wherever he wants to go. I think a lot of people were just skeptical that he would actually end up back at Maryland. So he ends up at Maryland. Auburn's still recruiting him. And then he puts out a tweet that says, I'm shutting it down already. I'm locked in. And I think that sort of signified an element of this recruitment that's going to be a challenge for Auburn and is going to be huge for Maryland that I don't think people are really thinking about. Why would you, this early in the process, shut things down completely? Why would a kid today, why would they do that? The reason they would do that, I think, is because they just essentially got a really big NIL offer, NIL proposal, whatever you want to call it. Hey, I've got something. It's so good. I got something so good. I'm going to lock it down. I don't even want to go see anybody else. I can't mess this up. That type of thing. And what company is based right out of Maryland that would love to send a shot at Auburn? What company in Maryland would love to, I guess really, really show Auburn? Maybe have a little bit of an axe to grind. If you haven't already guessed it, yes, Under Armour is based in Maryland. They have, obviously, Maryland is an Under Armour school, and there's no doubt if they could land a big kid over Auburn, if they could make a wave like that, not only would they be getting a great player, but they'd also, at the same time, punching back, I guess, at Auburn, obviously spurning Under Armour and going to Nike, which I think that contract starts here very soon. I know everybody's been asking me and everybody's been waiting for the Nike drop. I think we saw some shoes get dropped already. Not dropped for purchase, but like a tease of what they may look like. I think they dropped like all the school versions of the sneakers that they're about to get ready to put up for sale. But yeah, that's going to be something that Auburn's going to have to battle, because I think that Maryland versus Auburn right there, I think that could be a really tough one just because of that whole Under Armour aspect. I think Under Armour would probably do more to get him not to go to Auburn than they would maybe anywhere else. So that's going to be a fun aspect to watch in that recruitment. Now, regardless, Auburn is 100% in this thing. I said it from the beginning. I just don't think that kid ends up at Maryland. He may not end up at Auburn. I just don't think he ends up at Maryland. I could be really wrong, and they may bookmark this and play it when he signs with Maryland in December, but he's just too good. He's just too good. He is mega elite at that pass rushing spot, and it's that is obviously a vital position at the next level, and it's even more vital in the NFL. A premium on being able to get to the quarterback. Auburn is right in the mix with this thing, though. I think as long as DJ Durkin is at Auburn, Auburn's got just as good a chance at getting this kid as anybody. They love this kid, and this kid does love Auburn quite a bit too. Again, he's been here. There are a lot of things about Auburn that he loves, and obviously he's got a really good relationship with DJ Durkin. So I don't know. There wasn't anything like certifying that tweet was about Auburn, but everybody kind of feels like that was sort of a wink over at Auburn. I think they're definitely talking, and we'll see what happens in the very near future. Golly, it's May already. It's Cinco de Mayo. I mean, football season is not that far away, and then signing day is just creeping closer as well. So Auburn making some moves with a 5-star. It's still really, really quiet on the recruiting trail for Auburn and everybody else. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. But before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to Roback.com. Use coupon code BUTTON20 to take 20% off your order. If you like polos, shorts, joggers, you love fun, zany prints, and they even got the classic stuff too. Roback's your place. I love it. I have seemingly a shipment coming in at least once a month now. And you can do it too and save big using that coupon code BUTTON20. And then if you need a good real estate agent in the area, give me a shout. You can hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Instagram, email me at krush@thekeyagency.realestate. If you're looking to buy, build, or sell, or you just want to invest in the area, I'm your guy. So hit me up. I'd love to help you and your family there. We'll be back right after this. All right, it's still super slow as far as recruiting goes. It's picked up just a bit. It has picked up a little bit. So Auburn has 7 commits. You still have schools like Texas with only 4 commits. You got schools like Georgia with 7 commits. You got schools like South Carolina with 5. You got a bunch of schools in the SEC, Alabama with 5. LSU seems to be, and you got LSU who's, got the number 2 overall class, and they only have 10 commits. It's just super, super slow right now. And I think it all revolves around the NCAA versus the House or whatever it is settlement that they're working on, the NIL court case, which what they feel like will eventually do, essentially do, is move NIL away from the separation between collectives and move them in-house. So like it'll be able to make NIL be a part of the university. And I think there were some things a little bit earlier, like maybe I think in April, that they thought would happen that would make it to where the pathway to the switchover was a lot more visible. And if that were to happen, then it would be really easy to talk about contracts and talk about NIL with recruits. You have a concrete thing that you can talk about with them, but I don't think what they thought would happen earlier actually happened. It was postponed a little bit, and now you're sort of in a purgatory, so to speak, where you're waiting on this case to finally hit, and there's no and go figure, there's no real good guidelines from the NCAA about what to expect, what to prepare for. So you can't overextend yourself. Yeah, there's going to be a pool of money that's going to be available in theory. But again, you can't really overextend yourself until you know all of the ramifications of this settlement. There's so many different things that they think that this settlement could bring. You could have more performance-based contracts. When I say performance-based, we're not necessarily talking about like throw for 5,000 yards and get $1 million, but like more like the NFL where, hey, game checks. If you want to play, you can't really sit out or you're not going to get paid. Right now, you can't really tie anything to performance. Could you get multi-year contracts? That could be a possibility. Just a lot of different things that are not really fully settled, and you don't have the guidance you need to be able to talk to a kid and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. We don't really know what we're going to do yet. And it's not just an Auburn thing. Again, look across the board. It is, LSU has 10 commits. Again, who are some other Oregon. Oregon's got the most money of probably anybody. They only have 7 commits. It's just Texas. They talked about Texas payroll going to be 35 to 40 million this upcoming year. They have 4 commits. Now, I know that's not necessarily the 100% same thing because this will be next year's team, but I doubt that number goes down. I doubt that 35 to 40 million dollar payroll goes down next year. If anything, it'll probably keep going up. So these kids would be on the next year's payroll, and you only got 4 so far. So it's just a weird limbo, weird purgatory that college football's in, and it makes it for not very fun. What should be a very fun recruiting time where you have a lot of visits, a lot of commits. You start getting a lot of action going right now because remember, another thing that they've done is July is now a dead period. I think it's actually the whole month is actually a dead period now. So you got July and August that are dead periods. Well, then the football season starts. So then it makes recruiting that much tougher. So you saw kids start committing earlier and earlier and earlier. Well, if this settlement is supposed to be in June or sometime, I guess any day now, May or June, I mean, you're the clock's ticking on really quote unquote recruiting season, like when stuff really starts happening. And it just makes for a not very fun time when you're a fan and when you love Auburn going out and getting these kids. So again, it's not just Auburn though; it's everybody. Just sort of in again purgatory, waiting on this shoe to drop. Now, even though that's the case, coaches are still on the road. Right now, it is a evaluation period where coaches can go out and actually visit schools, which is great. Visit kids, not visit schools, visit kids in home. And that's where obviously you can make a lot of headway with kids. You saw them in home with Travis Burgess recently. You're seeing them popping up all over the place. And that's really where you go make your waves. That lasts for just a little while longer as well. I think it opened on April 15th. Maybe it goes through the end of May or sometime towards the end of May. And then it's, and then it gets quiet, and then it's going to get quiet again. So you got to have something done. Got to have something fall. Got to have something happen so we can start, actually locking kids in. It's just it's kind of a weird time. What's your favorite part about recruiting? What's your favorite recruiting story? We're going to have to come up with a lot of these over the next several weeks. I love recruiting stories. What's the biggest recruiting miss that you can think of? I love recruiting stories. We're going to talk a lot of recruiting over the summer. So be thinking about those, and we will have some fun episodes. Maybe have some top 5. There's been a lot of Mount Rushmore talk lately. We may have to do some Mount Rushmore of insert item, insert topic. We'll figure it out from there. So guys, I really appreciate it. If you like the video, like it. If you like the channel, subscribe. Don't forget to go to mybookie.ag and take advantage of that 50% deposit bonus. We're going to be back every single day. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.